By the way, let's bring back the buffets.
Have they disappeared?
Do you remember? But
Wait,
every
buffets?
every casino at
You're
a
not gonna
hotel,
eat 'em?
the buffets in Vegas used to be
Wait, I'm so
amazing.
confused. But you're not going to eat anything from it.
I'll eat the meat.
Okay, how cutthroat are you? Because I had eggs
I eat
a
eggs.
month ago in a hotel, and they cooked it in something else, and it f***ed me.
Oh, I'm cutthroat.
So now I do not.
I mean, are your shits better?
Oh yeah,
So
night
much.
and day. Yeah, I had hemorrhoids, and now I don't.
No, dude, and your poop
It's
comes out like
crazy.
it's on a water slide. It's like,
Yeah,
whee!
it's crazy.
There's no push.
And when you've had those problems and then they're gone, you don't forget it quickly.
No.
Like every shit I take, I go, oh, hell yeah. Okay, off I go again. You know?
Yeah.
Not like, man, that wasn't the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, or no matter how many times I wiped, it just never came
Yeah,
clean.
wow.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that anymore.
My balls is totally moving, new and improving. Knockdown, we get back up. I've got the heart and desire, my mother on fire, ready to take us to the top. Welcome to the show. Did you know that your mom is
Who broke my fan? Man.
It was the Wolf Boys, I bet.
Who?
Josh and Jacob Wolf.
I was like, is there a new gang in town that's wrecking my stuff?
I like how you said it like you were like a 40s detective. It was the Wolfgang. Yeah, see? Yeah, see? I'm going to take you downtown for that, see?
Where's my Tommy gang?
Man. Oh, wait.
Nailed it.
Problem created and problem solved.
Well, that feels pretty good, actually. Now, your cat did not run.
Yeah, he likes you. He feels safe.
Yeah,
It's probably because you're a dad.
right? Also because I got a hard on.
That's good to know.
The old scratching post, eh?
You do that with your son here, too. That's,
What, the hard on joke?
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I
dude.
guess you guys do stand up together. You do a podcast together. He's heard it all.
Yeah, I if you think that the hard-on jokes are the line, you're way off.
Let me
Yeah,
ask you a question about that, because my son is about to be 12 and a half, and we just sort of like, without planning to, jumped in the deep end where we like swear in front of each other and we watch like filthy comedy, and I'm
Porn.
seriously considering, not porn yet,
Okay.
but I'm seriously considering
Wow.
sending him the Lego dicks.
Yeah.
That we checked out with Annie Letterman. Do you remember, did you guys slow roll that, or do you think being a comedian, you kind of had no choice but to get into that a little bit earlier than you might have liked to?
Go ahead.
I feel like it was pretty tame up until I was probably about 16 or 17.
All right.
And then it started to get a little looser around the house and started to swear a little bit. We both found out that we smoked weed on our separate times. So like,
Wait,
you know,
you got busted. You didn't tell him you were starting to smoke. You
No, he
already
told
did it?
me.
Oh no, I told him.
Okay.
I definitely
Before
told
you
him.
did it ever, or you did it and then told
about,
him?
about 2 years after. I'm sorry, about 4 years after I started smoking.
We were out walking my dog, and it was at night, and he said to me, "Hey, I got to tell you something." That's your voice. Hey, I got to tell you something.
Spot on.
And I said, thanks, dude. I said, I go, okay. And he goes, I just want you to know that I smoke weed.
All right.
And I said, cool. Can we talk about this when I'm not high? Because I always smoke weed before I walk the dog.
Did you know your dad smoked weed?
No, we actually coincidentally both found out that
That
we
night.
smoked weed at the same time. So
Wow.
that conversation
Nice
kind of
work, Dad.
Listen,
You hit it.
I got to tell you, it was gradual, but I took him to movies like Tropic Thunder.
when I was
Yeah.
13.
and things like that. I you know what? I was never concerned about really sex or comedy. I was trying to keep him away from violence.
Right.
You know what? Sex is something that's everything's. it affects all of us.
Violence, you mean like
Violent movies.
Okay.
Oh, you know what I mean? Anything like that. I would rather have him watch things that are funny.
like Tropic Thunder is not violent?
It was definitely
Comedy.
Kind of.
It's comical violence.
No. What about
And I wanted
what
him
about
to-
boxing and MMA and stuff?
Yeah, that's different.
I mean,
It's
I-
sport.
Yeah,
it's
I did,
sport.
I did martial arts growing up though. Like I did like Krav
Krav
and
Maga.
Taekwondo. So like I was kind of invested in that area for a little while.
He used to be able to, when he was taking Taekwondo, he could walk into the splits. He would just slide down at the mall.
Yeah.
In either way,
Yeah.
it was pretty.
kind of crazy.
So does
yeah.
that mean you could do axe kicks?
Yeah, I could do. I mean, I'm gonna say this. I was the most flexible 9-year-old boy you've ever seen.
Have you always been tall?
Try me.
Like, dude, please. Come on. Leave that for Dad. Have you always been a tall kid?
Yeah, I mean, I was taller like growing up, like middle school, elementary, and then I got to high school and I was kind of short compared to everybody else. But then
Yeah.
my freshman year, I started at 5'9", and then my sophomore year, I started at 6'1".
Okay.
So I had a huge growth spurt for some odd reason.
What made you get into self-defense?
Growing up, I was picked on a lot.
So you did it, you got bullies.
Oh, I had bullies all throughout elementary, middle school, high school. And it was just a confidence thing. Just like,
It's funny how it's kind of good for you, a bully. Because my son got bullies and he got into boxing and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And I don't think he was interested in it because I've always boxed since he was a little kid. And then all of a sudden it was like, Dad, like I'm thinking about, and I was like, yeah, man, like I've tried to hold mitts for you since you were like 4 years old. And now he's training with all my trainers, and I sparred with him last night. He beat up Ian Fidance. Like I moved around. Ian's never fought before, and I was like, like come spar with me. And of course, Ian smokes 4 cigarettes in his car from here to the gym.
Yeah.
And he gets to the gym, and my coach goes, "Hey man, did you just smoke a cigarette before you got here?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, yeah." And in boxing, that's not good. You know what I mean? Like we at the gym that are sparring go, what's that like? Smoking a cigarette on the way to sparring?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know Ian. And I move around with Ian. I go, come on, man, you can punch me. It's okay. And he's like, he's weird about it. And he hit me. I was like, that's not enough. You can do it. It's okay. And then I was like, they like switch partners, and I can't give Ian to anybody else in the gym,
right.
except my son. And I go, Tiger, just the body, all right? And Ian's like, oh, come on. And I'm like, dude, trust me. Like, because Tiger's been training for a couple of years now, and he will beat the shit out of Ian. So he, like, took it easy on him. And Ian goes, how am I doing? And Tiger goes, try not to run away every time I go to punch you. And he goes, is that what I'm doing? And he's like, yeah.
Hilarious.
So, you know, I took Krav Maga for a little while.
Yeah.
And took a sparring class. And
How do you
once-
spar Krav Maga? Isn't there
it's
like, sorry, I don't know. I've always made fun of it, not actually done the research, but there's eye gouges and stuff, or no?
So you keep the real eye gougy stuff out of there, but it's just basically MMA sparring is basically
Okay,
what it is.
okay.
And so the sparring class had 3 guys and 3 girls. And this is back when we were up here.
Yeah.
And one of the women that was in the class is expert level.
Yeah.
And I was a little naive. And the guy was like, I'm going to set you 2 up to spar together. And I was like, yeah, but she's a woman.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's all right. And I turned to her and I go, hey, I'm not going to really hit you. And she goes, oh, I know. Now, I thought she knew that I was trying to be a gentleman. What she meant was, you're never going to touch me.
Yeah.
It was the first time anyone had ever leg kicked me.
Yeah.
Yo, dude. So
And she will unleash because you're a man.
she dropped the first one. I was like, oh. And the second one, I was like, okay. And then the third one, I tried to drop my hand.
But she knew it hit you in the head.
She knocked my mouthpiece clear across the room.
Yep.
That's so hot.
Yeah. I
is pretty cool.
orgasmed immediately.
Yeah.
That's
But
kinda cool.
It was, now he and I have sparred 3 times.
That's terrible.
Once when he was 14 and I won, and the other 2
I
times
was
when he was a
16
grown up,
and you didn't really win.
I kicked your ass.
Hold on.
Wait,
hold
you
on.
can't admit when you lose?
I can. Maybe I did lose the fight, but I didn't really lose the whole thing. This is my thing.
But if you lost, you lost. That's kind of how
yeah,
that
but
goes.
he was hurt outside when the
why
sprinklers
is
went
there
off.
a yeah but at the end of
Here's
it?
what
All right,
happened.
you want to tell me that happened the next 2?
Hey, let's move on to the one you did lose. Then you won 2 after that.
He did.
See how Dad admits it.
Oh, it's on footage. He can't not admit it.
Yeah.
Well, you need to learn how to admit that you lost the first one.
Yeah, admit it. Admit you lost.
Wow.
I still want to give him the satisfaction.
Yeah, no, I'm noticing that.
Yeah.
Good for you. Even though you won the last 2, you don't even want to give him 1.
Can I tell you how out of shape I was for the last one, and I thought I was in good shape? Can I tell you?
Now you're doing it.
Can I tell you?
Now you're spinning it.
No
Yeah,
spin.
yeah.
I came in thinking, oh, I'm gonna. But what I learned real quick is an in shape 52-year-old is not as in good a shape as an out of shape 25-year-old.
Yeah.
And so that's basically what I learned that day. I feel in much better shape now. After the first kind of jump around, I was like, you know how it's usually 3-minute rounds and 1 rest?
Yeah.
We went 1-minute round and 3-minute rest.
Yeah, it's
and I
good.
was still gassed.
I was doing what you were doing. After each round, I was sitting there bouncing in the corner, like keeping myself warm.
So annoying.
Sounds like
Yeah.
you guys are ripe for a rematch.
No.
Oh, he doesn't want another rematch.
No.
But he's
no.
so much fitter now. He was just saying before we started rolling.
Yeah.
you're
He did say he was pretty fit.
When we
so
filmed
much
that,
stronger than you've ever been in your
I
whole
am.
life.
I am.
That's what
That
he said.
doesn't mean
That's
I'm a
what I
better
heard.
fighter than I was.
Guess what? That's what he said when we fought the last time. He was training for 4 months. He called me every day. Hey man, I want you to know I'm gonna be in the best shape
Talking
of
shit,
my
guys.
life
Talking shit.
by the time we
Mind
get to this
games,
fight.
man.
You want to know what I did? Nothing for 4 months, specifically on purpose to prove a point when we got there, and I proved it very easily.
Wow, you really
Yeah.
need to beat your son up.
Yeah,
dude.
next time's going to be different, Josh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to maybe, what's that old boxing match where they used to put things on their gloves so they can rub it in the face? And
It
just,
was one time, and I don't know if
What
that
was
was
that?
true. It was Muhammad Ali.
no. It was like Alexis Arguello. It's probably old shit.
Oh, there's more than one.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
But listen, I'm not gonna fight him ever again. He's too quick now. He's too tall.
yeah, he's got to reach.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
definitely got to reach on me. And I just getting punched in the face is
But
just,
there's a way.
maybe I'll take a couple lessons with you.
I beat up like a 6'5" guy last night. He got a jab, but if you get on the inside of that jab,
Yeah.
work the body, stay close to him, they break.
Do you know that when he's 6'5", to get inside, you're eating at least 1 or 2?
Immediately. Well, that's the thing. I'm good. I can take a shot. I'm not proud of it anymore. There used to be a time where I was like, you hit me, I'll hit you. You're going to lose this contest. Because I hit hard and I can take a shot. Now, I got footwork. I got head movement. So, like, you might brush me or you might even catch me one time, but it's not going to stop me from getting inside. And when I get inside, it's over.
Short, quick punches to the body.
I just stay on you, and I watch your feet. So when you try to cut an angle to get out, I trap you, so you can't get out. And I just keep pitter patter, and then when there's an opening, I hit you hard.
Why do you think, so you
Not
love
in the head, in the body.
You love fighting though, yeah? Do you love
I
the
love
art?
this. I don't love fighting on the street.
But you know what I mean, like in the ring.
yeah,
and-
I love it.
Do you find that there is any kind of equivalency to mentally to getting ready for that kind of stuff and stand up?
Exactly. That's why I love comedy so much. Because comedy, if you do bad, you don't have to go to hospital. You
Yeah.
just feel sad for a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Like real sad, but it's not. I don't wake up like I got to go to the ER. I got to do rehab. I got to like get stitches or get all this other stuff that comes with it. But it's still the nerves, the sharpness, the intensity, like the meaning. Like it means so much.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like even if it's sparring on a Tuesday, and like the guy's like, "Hey man, you want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Wow, this guy's same weight as me and like a foot higher than me. Like, and he's younger. He looks like a real fit guy. He's got very muscular shaped body." And I'm like, he's probably quicker than you too. And I'm like, so be ready, you know? And then that clicks in. I've always had that thing where I can poker face it, where it's like, yeah, man, we're casual, but I'm not. Like,
So
I'm
it's
gonna get you.
the different. It's like figuring it out. To me, comedy is so much
Yeah.
about, and I think all art, but comedy especially, because he's starting to do stand up now. He tours with me now, right?
I've seen.
And so I try to tell him that there's no failing. It's like think of comedy as a puzzle, right? And say there's
Yep.
1,000 pieces. Well, if you're not going to, every piece you put down doesn't fit.
Yep.
That's not a failure. That means you got to try another piece.
Yeah.
And so you can't look at it. You got to look at comedy like a puzzle also. You just got to keep putting the pieces in until you find the right one that fits.
The biggest one to me is confidence. Because
Sure.
I've come into comedy very insecure. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've been good at a bunch of stuff, but this is a whole new thing to me. And when I come in, I'm like, I just don't want to be a dick. I don't want to be annoying. I don't want people to think, oh, you think you're some like radio skateboard jerk off. Like you want a free ride. Like I don't want any of that. Like I want to pay my dues in this. So I think I came in pretty insecure, and I'm like, get your stuff down, say it, like, you know, and I get tense about it. The better I do, the more I do it. Lately, I find like instead of my set, I'm like mixing it with the crowd, and I'm like, wait, I didn't tell myself when I came out here to do like 10 minutes of crowd work, but I just end up doing it because I come up knowing I got this. Like I'm not saying I'm hot shit. I'm just saying that I know that like if somebody says something or he looks funny or he's got some shoes on, or I'm off I go, and I believe in it enough to keep going. I think there was a time there I'd be like, that guy, look, I could, but I don't want to risk it, and I want to remember my set. So like now I've noticed lately I barely get to my set because I'll see something or somebody will say something, and I'm like, this is more fun. Because I've done my routine.
And you know what else is great about that, about going into something where you're like, I don't know if I'm confident enough to do it. And then you do it. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, I'm still alive. Everything's still good. It almost builds you stronger.
Yeah.
For sure. Builds you stronger.
Hey everybody, Jason Ellis, Jason Ellis Show. Do you like eyeballs? Do you like, well, looking at people and not knowing that you're looking at them? That's creepy, right?
Is it sunny where you live?
This is the best.
We want to tell you about our favorite sunglass company, Muchacho.
Just so you know, right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at my at Tully's boobs. He has no idea.
Thanks, Nevin Eyewear. These sunglasses are a steal. Crisp lenses, tons of styles, fantastic prices. Check out Nevin Eyewear if you're like me. You bought the expensive sunglasses. You've lost. You've broken them. You've cried. You've cursed cruel fate. And now it is time to try something new. Buy one, get two free.
Yeah, you could lose your sunglasses like 2 times and still have a pair, Michael.
That's
Do the
right,
math.
you big dummy.
My favorite pair is these pairs, right? This pair right here that I got on me sweet face.
Is that the Space Coast?
Better believe it.
And I got the Low Riders over here.
So fans of the show, if you want to try a pair of regular sunglasses, I got the hookup with 35% off any one regular pair with code Ellis.
Or if you want to stock up, you can get their buy one, get any 2 free deal. These discounts are not available on prescriptions.
So check out nevineyewear.com/discount/Ellis for quality shades at great prices. That's Nevin, Neven, eyewear.com/discount/Ellis. Hey everybody, Jason Ellis Show here talking about Blue Chew. I love Blue Chew so much that I have it in my car, I have it in my fanny pack, I have it in my house in 3 different drawers. I now tell jokes about it. It's in my stand-up. And every time I say it, everybody knows. I go, hey, you guys know about Blue Chew? And the crowd goes, yeah. So it's on the streets, baby.
Blue Chew is the reason I'm sitting with my legs crossed right now.
Nice.
It's a unique online
Appreciate that, man.
That delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. Why pay more for boners?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The
Get
process
a discount.
is simple. You just go to BlueChew.com. You don't have to go to you don't want to go to a doctor's office. And, hey,
No.
man, you want some help with your boner? Super cool, super manly. That other guy in the doctor's office,
Yeah.
that guy's a weirdo. He's just going to freak you out. There is
Yeah.
nothing sexier than confidence, and Blue Chew can give you confidence where it counts.
Comes
In your
discreetly.
groin!
Right. It comes discreetly in a discreet package.
Blue Chew
so
wants-
no one knows that
That's
you
right.
are erect and ready to go.
Except the person that you want to know is going to know in a big way.
You're a
in
human.
your groin!
You're a human hammer.
Blue Chew wants the entire country rock hard. They told me. That's the mission. They will not stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house, till every 10 is pitched, till every rod is raised. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code
Ellis.
at checkout. Just
pay
pay
for shipping.
$5 shipping. That's
Yeah.
BlueChew.com promo code
Ellis.
like a hammer to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. Chub safely, and we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
I tell him, the first time I had him go on stage, he didn't know he was performing because I didn't want him thinking about it and psyching himself
Yeah.
up. He had been on stage with me before doing a Q&A and is great and very natural. But if I had told him, hey, you're doing stand-up this week,
You already knew he could do it.
I knew he could do it.
Right.
And so 5 minutes before the set, I was like, hey, it says in the contract that you're hosting this week, so get ready.
Nice.
And he was like, when? I'm like, 5 minutes, get your shit together.
That's so awesome for both of you.
Yes.
Like to be the dad and go, hey man, you're up, and this is your game, this is your world, and you've seen him, you know he can do it, and you're giving him that option, you're giving that opportunity, and he gets to do it. And now you're on the road, like traveling, doing it.
Yeah, I have that kind of same feeling that you said, where it's like like a free pass into this. It's like, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely started on third base, having him being my dad being a comic, but I have that same feeling where it's like very insecure going because it's nothing I've practiced, nothing I've really done, and the more and more I do it, the more confident I get. But I'm also trying to do the same thing with paying my dues right now. We live in Vegas, so I'm going to open mics 2-3 times a week because I'm just going out there. I want to meet the comics in my community. I want to put in that extra work and try new jokes and eat a couple bags of dicks on stage where no one's gonna laugh. And it happened one weekend, 3 nights in a row. I ate dicks 3 straight sets, and I was like, damn. I don't actually know if I'm good at this. Maybe that expectation of maybe it's just because I'm Josh Wolf's son, I'm good at this.
That's a good for you.
And then we did his residency.
good.
We did his residency show Monday night, that following Monday, and I went up there and I was like, "No, I got this. I know I'm good at this." And I killed. And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm back."
Let me just say though, dude, in your defense about starting on third base, you have, and so you get a lot of opportunities. He gets, between the Monday night residency show and weekend, he gets an hour and 15 minutes on stage a week.
That's good.
But so he does start on third base, and he is in front of people who know who he is, and that's a huge thing too.
Yeah, but if you're not good, that's
right.
That's the thing.
He's not carrying it.
And they expect him to be funnier than he possibly could be. He's
Yeah.
only a year in.
Yeah.
But they expect him. So, and you know what else? He doesn't get to develop an anonymity. He doesn't get to suck when nobody sees him.
Yeah.
He sucks, but which he doesn't, thank God. But his worst times is in front of sold out shows.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to be open mic guy and learn. People leave there going, yeah, Jacob Wolf is whatever, and they're making a judgment on him a year in, which none of us. Well, you do. You
Yeah,
have to do
bit.
that. But most of us got to really figure out who we were going to be without anybody knowing us.
Dude, the best compliment I got was the other day. Hermos was on the show, and he was like, you're doing it the right way. That's why everybody at the Comedy Store likes you. And I was like,
You are doing it the right
that's
way.
all I wanted.
You are doing it
Like
the right way.
in the back of my mind, I didn't say it, but I was like, that's all I wanted, dude. I just wanted you guys to not be like, look at this dickhead, because
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. I've been in other things and worked my way up, and I know how we all. Doesn't matter if it's comedy, skateboarding, basketball, anything. If you come in claiming and swinging off someone's nuts, all the people that paid their dues. It's just instinct. I'm like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to do that.
Yo, in comedy, we all know what it takes to get to a certain level, and the bags of dicks you have to eat repeatedly. I don't know how many times, but you've probably been knocked down on stage where you're like, am I supposed to be up here?
Oh, yeah.
This was not just bad. It was like, I want to go crawl in a fucking hole.
Yeah. I've told this story. There was times where I lived in Hermosa and I drove like 40 to 50 minutes to Ha-Ha's, and I did a set, and it was, people hated me. They didn't not laugh. They hated me. Like, and I think the only thing I had going for myself was like, well, he looks like he could defend himself, so I won't beat him up in the parking lot. But I hate that guy. And then I drove home, and then I got home, and like nobody was there, and I just sat on my couch, and I was like, I hate myself. But it also, I woke up in the morning thinking, I'll just sleep it off. And I woke up and was like, I still hate me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but then I was like, I know what this is. You love it because you wouldn't care.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You care so much that you're gonna figure it out.
My worst bomb ever. The fourth time I was ever on stage.
love how you remember
Oh,
it.
dude. The fourth time I was ever on stage.
Well, refresh everybody's memory. What you first 3 shows were with Sam Kinison?
the fourth one that's the
Okay.
worst bomb ever.
All right.
Did I tell you that story?
A while back, yeah.
The fourth time I was ever on stage, I opened for Kinnison. And
No pressure.
but here's the thing. I had just won a comedy competition at a bar where my friends were there. So and then when Kinnison's opener's dad passed away on the way to San Antonio. So when they called and was like, "Hey, whoever won that competition, tell him he's opening for Sam." And you know the first thing I thought was, this comedy shit's easy.
Yeah.
Am I already winning competitions and
Yeah.
opening for Kinnison?
Wow,
Like,
you are set up.
I should probably quit school right now, you know? And by the way, this will tell you, this is what I wore. This will tell you how I was not ready. This was the 90s. I was wearing acid wash jeans with penny loafers. I had one of those black belts that had the silver tip.
Oh, you came in swinging.
Oh, dude.
You're
and
waiting for Johnny Carson to wave you over to the desk.
I had a blue Blockbuster button-down shirt, basically tucked into the jeans. But because it was Kinnison, I was trying to rock and roll it up. I had a motorcycle jacket, ponytail,
You dickhead.
bangs.
Ponytail.
Wow, is there
Yeah.
a photo of that?
Bangs to the side. I do.
Don't use it.
It was so
I like
bad.
you, dude. Don't show me that.
Make-A-Wish presents Josh Wolf.
It was so bad.
I did not want to see that.
They started heckling me. First of all, they told Bill, his manager, was like, "Listen, I just need you to do 20 up front." I had only done 3 minutes.
20.
So they started heckling me before I got to the mic. And by the time they were done heckling me 4 minutes in, they were just talking to each other. But I was out of material. So as people were walking in late to see Kinnison, I was like, "Hey, you didn't hear my jokes." I was repeating my act.
Yeah.
I did my act like 4 times.
And did anybody get more angry for that?
No, because they weren't listening. They were just talking
They'd
to
already
each other.
switched off.
They were literally turned to each other talking. What I didn't know was that there was going to be a second show. And I also didn't know that Sam was going to be so fucked up that Bill was like, "Hey, I might need you to stretch and do like 5-10 extra minutes." I'm like, "For what?"
Wait, did you have to do 5 or...
Yeah, I did 7 more minutes. I did 27 minutes second show.
Which means he did his set 5 more times.
Did you?
Oh, I did my act a bunch. I ended up just started talking straight.
Did it get better?
No, dude. It was the worst.
Wow.
But I remember that. I remember driving home. I remember my girlfriend at the time saying to me, and she basically was like, "Well, he must be. You got that out of your system. So you're going to basically," she was like, "You're quitting, right?" And I said, "Well, I'm not going out like that.
Yeah.
I might quit eventually, but that's not the last time I'm ever going to be on stage."
That's...
But a good bomb. That's why when people are like, give me a secret to getting on stage. You got to stand up. You got to get on stage.
Yeah.
And you got to eat shit a couple times. And if you still want to get on stage,
I've noticed that with people. I got like OnlyFans friends that I used to work with, so to speak, that are like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get into comedy," and I'm like, "Yeah, cool. Are you getting up? Not yet." And I'm like, "Well, then you're not getting into comedy."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, I've been writing some stuff," and I'm like, "No, get up." Like, and I've been writing stuff for a couple of years. I'm like, "Oh my God, like, get up."
and
Like,
by the way, I guarantee you, even
it's
without
bad.
saying it sucks.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's the worst thing that anybody's ever written.
But the only way to find out that it sucks for yourself is to get on stage and try it.
It's like they don't believe me, but I'm like, even if you have absolutely nothing and you get up right now versus your 2 years of writing, it's gonna be better for you.
Yeah.
You come across to me as a good joke writer.
Yeah, I often mistakenly give people that impression.
Yeah. have you ever got on stage and just
Yeah,
rifled
I mean,
off?
you got
I've
into it.
actually done shows with you.
I think so. I remember that.
Yeah, you know what the thing was? I like doing it. I really like doing it. I feel like I have a lot of unfinished business there, but I have little kids, and it was very, 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 very hard for me to do one show a week. And one show a week I found I likened it to, it was like, you don't go to the boxing gym, you just show up and spar. You just show up and get your ass kicked, and then you wait 7 days and you have no muscle memory whatsoever, and you get your ass kicked all over again. And I was like, I'm kind of like an impediment to my family just doing it one night a week, and I'm getting fucking
Yes.
nowhere here. I have no idea where life is going to take me. I mean, to an extent, I do a lot of like solo podcasting, and it's not the same, but I do feel like I get on a microphone and I riff almost every single day. That's okay. If the opportunity is there, if the window is there when the kids fuck off a little bit and don't want to talk to me, I would love to do
That's
it.
coming.
But only if I can see when you say, I
That's
honestly,
where I'm at.
Yeah, that's coming.
because I was trying in LA and some doors open for me because I used to be on the radio, but not that many.
Yeah.
And as Sam Tripoli always says, no matter where you are, David Spade's playing somewhere else in town. It's not the easiest town. I always said that too. If we happen to do a radio show in San Antonio, I probably would have had a night at this club, a night at that club. When you say an hour and 15 a week, that sounds so
crazy.
That's a dream for me. If somebody
Yeah.
said, "Hey, next summer, just go out, get up 6 nights a week for 4 straight weeks," like, okay, I can do something with that.
Especially
but I
in
just
LA.
felt like I was just getting my ass kicked, and it wasn't. It
You're
wasn't,
right about
mo-
one
and
day
most
a
of the
week.
time, and most of the time, you know what I was doing? I was trying to remember my jokes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
And it's no way to live. You want to get to the point where that shit's in your back pocket, and you can just start being yourself on stage. And I never ever got that.
Hey everybody, this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, the online therapy service that everybody should use because everybody needs therapy. I'm a man, I can admit it. I'm probably more of a man than you are. It's not a man race, but if we were racing, I'd be up in front, you know? And I need therapy, and I'm not afraid to say it.
I think a lot of us do. I've long believed that, and I mean this is a compliment, Jason Ellis Show listeners are the most insane, emotionally unbalanced audience in all of the podcasting world.
No one's offended by that.
If anybody needs better help, it's
you.
us. It's you specifically. I'm
Yeah.
fine. You are insane.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's where
it's
BetterHelp.
my fault.
That's where BetterHelp comes in, and folks, and this is where your opportunity to help the show comes in. When you go to, if you're good, hey man, if you're doing great, rock on, brother. But if you think you could need a little mental, emotional pick me up, go to BetterHelp.com, and then don't forget to give them our promo code. It means a lot to the show, to us. It helps us substantially, significantly if you let them know we sent you. So go to BetterHelp.com/Ellis. That's the important part. If you're going to go to BetterHelp.com, put the Ellis. It'll help the show, and it'll get you 10% off your first month to talk to a licensed therapist, online, discreet, convenient, everything you are looking for in a little mental pick-me-up. That is BetterHelp.com. Don't forget this part, /Ellis. You got that? BetterHelp.com/Ellis. Get 10% off your first month.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Ellis. I'm doing stand-up at Brea Improv. Jason Ellis and Friends. That means it's a big comedy show, and I'm the headliner, and everybody's talking about it because now the big gun has finally showed up. The skills, the hilarity, it's all going to be there, and I'm going to be on fire, and you're going to be pissing your pants full of laughter, or you're going to be shitting yourself because you missed it. So don't blow it. Get tickets right now. TheJasonEllis.com. Brea Improv, August 1st. Be there. It's my time. Show up for it.
I used to have to bring, when I was single, I used to have to bring them to the clubs. And yeah, Joey Diaz used to be their babysitter.
Oh yeah.
And so
Well, that explains it.
Oh yeah. Joe Diaz was his babysitter, and my other 2 kids as well.
There was nobody else there.
Ralphie.
It was Joe Diaz and Ralphie May, the 2 of them. Not only that,
Sam Kinison was already dead at this point.
He could have just used his carcass.
if
Could have crawled inside for work.
well, at the time, dude, he was like 360, 370 pounds. He was a big dude.
Yeah.
And even on the days that he couldn't do it, I would just take him to the Comedy Store, and when I did my set, somebody would sit in the car with them, and I would come back out, or the Improv would let them sit in the front area. Chelsea used to sit with them and eat ice cream. I would just do my set. My oldest son used to introduce me at the Comedy Store, at the Improv when he was like 7.
Yeah.
But I've always just been like, fuck it. I'm bringing them with me. But
Yeah.
I'm getting on stage because I never had a plan B.
Right.
It was never like, if this doesn't work,
Right.
this is gonna work.
Which is how you do it.
This job, I think, in particular.
Yeah.
There's no, like, when you say one day a week, I would tell you you're right. you're wasting, because it's not that you can't get good one day a week. It's just there are people who are getting on stage 10 times a week.
Yeah.
And even if you're better and funnier than them starting out, this is a game about reps.
Yeah.
I'm sure just like skateboarding.
Yeah.
It's rep. You got to put in a certain amount of hours to even get close to right. And stand up is like, it's all reps. I'm sure you can feel the like times where you're like, oh, I just made a jump.
Yeah. When I was in Florida, Brianna, where there was, I did 3 shows a day for 3 days.
I was at that festival
and
with
by
you.
the 3rd day, something happened on stage, and I was like, that wasn't going to happen for another couple of months. It happened because I've done 3 shows every night for the last 3 days, and the 3rd night I was something. All of a sudden, I'm like, I'm looking at people. And I'm looking at their reactions, and I'm thinking about other stuff as stuff is coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, what is happening in my mind right now? Because it was like when Tully said, I'm just trying to remember my material.
Yeah.
But it left. And I was like, you know that. Now there's like other stuff. And I added things, and I was like, wow, that was like that. And then like some of the things I added became my joke, and the other thing is not my joke anymore.
It's what I love the most. What you just described is what I love the most about stand-up.
Yeah.
It's if you allow it to be, it's an ever evolving, ever changing, ever growing art that you never perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, because
And-
it always if you work on that, it always gets better.
Yes.
Now I understand people that have specials and go,
Yes.
I could have made that so much better because that joke now I could do
You're
this.
a different point of view.
Yeah.
You know what I did over quarantine? One of my favorite things I've ever done is I took the first comedy CD I ever recorded, and I took all the premises and rewrote all the jokes.
Wow.
Just to see, I'm like, I wonder where I go with
Way
this
different,
stuff
right?
now. So different.
Yeah.
See, I kind of wanted to ask you about that. You did a special, if I'm not mistaken, where you retired material about your kids, about
Yep.
being a dad.
Yep.
That's not your entire identity as a comic, but it's obviously a pretty big part of your identity as a comic. That's like, it's kind of easy to look at your life and be like, I'm the alcoholic guy, or I'm the dick, or I'm the insult guy. I'm the guy who makes jokes about his kids. Now you just have this total blank canvas of you gotta make yourself a thing, and there's no ready-made like template for you to plug yourself into. Did you know what the next Josh Wolf iteration was going to be? Are you still finding that next iteration?
You know what? I'm going to tell you for real, and I would say this over the last 2-3 years, all the wheels are on the track. I'm not saying this, if you know me, I'm not a braggadocious dude, but I right now, the comedy's just spilling out. Like, I shot a special in January. I had an hour that I would tell you right now that I've been doing around the country. I had an hour by the end of April.
Yeah.
That
That's
is
awesome.
like, and I think this hour I'm doing right now, the best hour I've ever done. What I've figured out how to do, because I've always told stories, right? But I've always been like, well, this story's not funny enough to tell. But I've figured out how to take regular, just interesting stories and make that funny. Not change the story to make it funny, but tell it funny. Write
Yeah.
the right punchlines.
I get that.
So it doesn't. Really, what I want you to do is I want you to hook into the emotion of the story. I tell a story about jumping off of a Space Needle. I'm scared of heights, right? And so
what?
off a needle in Auckland, New Zealand. You know, there's that in. You can bungee off the needle.
Okay.
Is it like the Seattle one
Yes.
at all?
It's
Okay.
like
And
you know you can jump off the Strat in Vegas.
Okay.
It's like that.
But the story itself isn't funny. But I was like, you know what? People are going to relate to the emotion of their biggest fear.
Yeah.
They're going to even if their biggest fear isn't heights, that's what's going to keep them going. I relate to the emotion of this story. And now it's my job to make that funny. And so, but when that changed for me, I was like, when you say the canvas, it's open. Pick a story. It doesn't have to be funny.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it funny.
Man, then your options explode.
Explode.
Yeah.
And so like this special I'm putting out I'm calling 4 stories because that's all it is. It's 60 minutes, 4 stories.
Sick.
Yeah.
When's that out?
I'm going to wait till after the summer.
Okay.
Because the views in summertime are dumb.
I
But
love how you know that.
what's that?
I love how you know that.
I have to know that.
Right.
Because I've always put my stuff on YouTube. So I have to know So I'll put it out on YouTube.
Why is it not in summer? What is that?
People views are down across the board in
Because they're
summer.
not watching, they're out doing
Yeah,
stuff.
they're
Right.
out. I
Okay.
mean, not everybody in America. Most people are. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Well, and you forget, like, I remember, like, when we did radio shows in Canada the one time, there's places in the world where people, like, it's not an option. Like, in here,
Yeah.
it might be raining a little bit. There's places where people are stuck in their
Yes.
house for 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And when that lifts and the thaw comes, they are gone. They're outside until they
Yeah.
have to go back in.
won't-
I get that.
I won't play Seattle in July
Right.
because it's been shitty. And Seattle in July is the most beautiful place in the country, and it stays light basically until 9 o'clock. So nobody's coming inside. They've been.
wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the winter, all these people are stuck inside. Maybe not here.
Dying
like you
to
said.
see something.
Yeah.
They gotta look.
Wow.
They gotta
Yeah.
look.
So
That is
that's what they said. Because
crazy.
remember, I can't remember what the franchise was in Canada where we did live shows, but that's exactly what they said, is that we did well given that we were there in Canada in summer.
Oh, okay.
Have you found, like, do you find, like, touring that you feel more comfortable? I haven't asked you this, in different parts of the country, telling your stories. Because he has started telling stories, like he does 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's super cool to watch. But have you found, like, do you think there are parts of the country that have gotten you better?
Gotten me better. I mean, I definitely think I feel more comfortable in certain, like, I feel really comfortable in Portland and in Seattle. Like, I love those two cities. I feel comfortable East Coast. I always feel like there are sometimes in the Midwest is where some of my stories, like some of those drug stories, might be like go over some people's heads or might be missed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I'm confident in all of my material, and I know that I'm still going to get more of a laugh than not a laugh. Or there's a, I have a Cosby joke, which for me I love because it either divides the entire room or unites everybody, and that's always kind of fun to like talk to the crowd about.
I love the fact, dude, that you don't, and this is for young comics hard to do, you don't change who you are or your material for the people sitting in front of you.
Absolutely not. I learned that from you.
I used to do that all the time. I'd be like, oh, they're not going to like this, so I'm just going to do this.
Do you know why I do that though?
Huh.
Because you remember that's when your first comedy show you said that you were afraid to swear in front of your grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she was like, "No, like you shouldn't have to change that for anything." Ever since he said that, I've never changed who I was on stage.
really-
I feel like that's one of the few lessons I did pick up for sure. Is old ladies are way filthier than you think they are.
They
They're
are.
so much fun. Oh my god!
I
they're
told
the
my
funniest.
Nana, I'm like, she goes, you look nervous up there. I go, I didn't want to say fuck in front of you. And she goes, sweetheart, I had to fuck for you to get here. And I was like,
Nice.
to the show? I
That's
didn't giving you a ride. Shit, you don't need to be.
That's a whole pass right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure it was.
You're good to go.
But I will tell you this also. I think I love stand up more now than maybe I even did 10 years ago.
That's
I
so awesome.
fucking love being on stage.
That's fucking
So
rad.
much of it is, look, I just get to hang out with him every
I
weekend.
think that's the coolest shit ever. And I can relate to it now because I box with my son. And it's like he skates. If we go snowboarding, this is also a bonding experience. But snowboarding is something that I do every now and then. I don't love, I like it. It's fun, but I don't love it. Like, I love fighting. And like, my son is, I'm not cool anymore. I'm 15.
Yeah.
Like, dad's dad. So he's not that cool. It's like, yeah, I know you know Tony Hawk, and I'm happy for you. But I know Tony Hawk too. I don't really care. You know, it's,
By the
it's-
way, that's pretty cool.
yeah, it's because you don't know. I'm not your father. That's how
I would
that
still
goes.
think that's pretty cool though. Like, by
What
the way,
about-
that changed. That'll change. Like you said, he's 15.
Yeah.
That'll change.
Well, in fighting, he's like, like sometimes if I spar heavy, he's like, Dad, like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? He's like, you're going crazy in there. And I'm like, dude, this is what I am. And he's like, I get it. Like, and I can see it rubs off on him because he's like, he's got a privileged life. Like, his mum lives in Beverly Hills and his friends are not that tough. And
Did you have a good relationship with your dad?
it was a rocky. It was weird. I had a good relationship until I figured out some stuff.
Right.
And then now looking back, it was not good. Not a good way. There was like parts that were good that rubbed off that were good, and then there was other parts that were terrible. And I had to, like you were saying before the show started, there were things that I brought with me for a long time that affected my relationships.
Yeah.
That cost me a lot. That I had to cut out. I had to kill that person, and that was a lot of stuff that I got from him.
And does that make it more special for you? The relationship you have with your
hell
son?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to. It ends here.
Yeah.
Like I'm not passing down what I got passed down.
Yeah.
Like he needs to know. Like you don't like. Oh, you know, I mean, I'm frustrated. I'm gonna. Why? What happened to you? Because
Yeah.
I was there. Nothing happened to you. Nobody did anything to you.
Yep.
You're good. Like people loved you. You felt loved. You like if you needed help, you got it. If you need, if you needed to do something yourself, you were told do it yourself. You can do it.
Yep.
So there's no excuses, and it's like this is all you. So I don't feel guilty about anything like I could have.
It's so amazing, dude. Because we all know. I think the what they say, you spend 90% of your time with your kids 18 years old and younger.
Yeah. Yep.
And so to have bonus time.
Yeah.
Right? Because after 18, and times are different, but at 18, I was like, see you later, everybody.
Yeah, this is a bonus time for sure.
Crazy.
Like you're on the road with him. I'd be so pumped.
Well, okay, this is your perspective. Jacob, you ever get sick of your dad?
Tell him what you said. Tell him what you said when we got back to Vegas. Because we've been on the road pretty hard together.
So from January to the end of May, we were on the road every weekend.
We had one weekend off.
We had one weekend off, and we always have a little bit of time off during the summer because, like he said, tickets are different during the summer.
Yeah.
People like to go out; they're not at home, and we're at our third week off right now. We've had 3 straight weeks off. And we landed, where were we? La Jolla, I think, San Diego. And we got back, and he was like, we have 3 weeks off. And I was like, I can't wait to not see you.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
He was like, I'm
But
fucking
then
around.
I
for the
don't even
last-
take that as an offense. That's
No.
Because he feels the same way, but that's not meant in a mean way. It's
Yeah, I
just
didn't see
like,
it like
I
that.
can't wait to be like, not to see your face every day. But then
Yeah.
for the last 2 weeks, I've seen him 4 out of 7 days. It's like, what the fuck?
No, I go to the gym. If I'm tired and he's going to the gym, I go.
Yeah.
Because I know that's like, if we sit around here, he's on his phone, he's talking to somebody. There's no like real broing down. But at the gym, it's like, my proudest moment is like, Ian, I got to actually work out tonight. So like you go over with my son. He's like, your son? I'm like, you're going to be fine, dude. If anything, you're going to be in more pain than with me. And my son's like, really him? And I'm like, take it easy, dude. Just the body. And my son's like, I got it. And I'm like, he already knows enough to do that.
It's amazing.
Like he's already good enough to be like, yeah, I can take care of this guy for you. And Ian's a full-grown man.
Yes.
And my son is like, oh.
Does he box with a cigarette in his mouth?
My son?
No, Ian.
He would if the gym wouldn't kick his ass for doing it.
Which
picked
ring
me
is
up-
the smoking section?
He picked me up from the airport. He smoked 4 cigarettes from the airport back to this house. And I was like, dude.
He's got a Marlboro charm necklace.
Stop it.
Or you got to buy a bunch of Marlboros.
That's a lot
for that,
of
don't you?
miles, yeah.
Yeah. Marlboro miles is.
Remember that?
Yeah, that was so funny.
How many packs do you need to smoke to get a boat?
All of them.
Wait, was that a thing?
Oh my God. Okay.
Hold on. What?
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I don't know what's happening.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
wait,
it used to be-
Camel Bucks too.
So I was a Marlboro guy. So if you smoked Marlboro Lights, Marlboro Reds, aka Marlboros, and they had Marlboro Mediums for a minute there. There was a strip, one of the sides of the pack you could rip off, and it was Marlboro Miles, and there was a catalog you could get. Everybody collected them. It was the same as getting the tickets for the toys at Chuck E. Cheese. Everybody collected them, and nobody that I ever met ever got enough to actually get a goddamn thing. Like if you
What could you
chain smoked
get?
for a year, you could maybe get like a Marlboro jacket, but the brochure was literally like inflatable rafts, and,
Oxygen tank.
yeah, lots of things
Yeah,
that
you didn't
smoke.
need that.
Yeah.
It's like the Zin. It's like the Zin codes. How people can get rewards for the Zin containers now. Have you seen that?
Oh, I didn't know that. It's the exact same premise.
So yeah, I was seeing something online, and this guy was like, "Yeah, look what I just got with my Zin codes," and it was a Black & Decker grill, and I was like, "What?
Wow.
By the way, how many packs of Zins though did you have to get that thing?
They're not making them anymore.
They're not making Zins anymore.
Yeah, there's other ones that are better than them anyway.
Dang, that happened
I have a
fast.
friend of mine who was. I was
happened
like,
so
I think I'm
fast.
going to get into Zins, and he goes, "Hey, you should try putting 1 or 2 in your butthole." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "It's
Butt chug Zens, huh?
He goes, "It's amazing." I was like, why?
Amazing.
Yeah, why?
I don't know if that's the right word.
I don't know if that word's necessary for what you're talking about.
Yeah, and why can't you just do it the way
Yeah.
everyone else does
Yeah,
it?
it's the same. It's the same as like vodka's pretty smooth. Have you tried dipping it in a tampon and shoving it up your ass?
Why would
It's
I try
amazing.
that? Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah, I
You know what's
disagree.
pretty absorbent? My throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works out just fine.
And I don't mind the taste. I don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't need to shove a zin in my butthole.
It sounds bony.
It's Bernie. Did you say?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not. Nah, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, I already did.
Yeah.
I already passed. He. It's funny because I make him. I don't let him get his own hotel room on the road.
Oh wow.
He has to sleep with me every night.
In a separate bed. Two
You know
beds.
what? I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for.
That's for
explaining.
everybody else also.
But he always says it at the hotel desk.
Why do you do that? To bro down.
Yeah, and not only that, dude. One,
Cheaper.
cheaper, but also like, man, he doesn't need to be 27 on the road with his own hotel room. Like he should be. We're doing work. I don't need him out drinking.
Do you drink?
I mean, yeah, but I'm not like I'm a social drinker. I'm more
Okay.
of like a smoker, but I'm a social drinker.
We're doing.
about-
we're
what
doing
about
work.
women?
And what about women?
I have a girlfriend of 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's also why I don't need
Wow,
my
he
own
said
hotel
that
room.
pretty serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
also why I don't need a hotel room. If I was single, I would be asking for my own hotel room on specific weekends, but
Got it.
I just don't need it.
Somebody we
Does
did
that
an
make you
interview.
uncomfortable, Josh?
Which part?
That if he was single, he would ask for his own room.
No, I would. I actually insist that he have it.
Yeah.
I don't want him fucking somebody. He's like, you don't mind if I bring a girl back?
Well, that
There's a
Do you
tie
sleep
on
in the
door.
closet?
Yeah.
now we're talking about my kind of fatherhood. That's what some of the things I was referring to, where the boundaries were not cool.
Somebody asked on an interview we did. They were like, so you bring. They asked him. They didn't know he had a girlfriend. So you bring girls back and fuck in front of your dad. I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah, that's a crazy thing to ask.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, that is so out of pocket. I can't even begin
Yeah.
to explain it. Like,
Right. I think the internet has taught us that everything is a fetish. That might actually not be a fetish.
If you type it in, nothing comes up. Yeah, let's hope so.
search not found. Yeah.
You might stump Pornhub with that one.
What a great game.
Stump
Pornhub.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Wait, are we still on
Okay.
the stumping Pornhub
Yes.
thing? Oh, okay.
Quadriplegic midget porn.
Oh, that's on there for sure.
No
Yeah.
way.
Can somebody type that in?
Quadriplegic?
Just people pretending to be.
My computer's got enough viruses.
How
as
do you
it is.
pretend to be?
How do you
sit-
pretend to have sex with your mum? It's not
Well,
really your mum. I mean, I hope not.
Yeah, yeah.
Good
But
point.
quadriplegic, I think, is like the real.
You can do that.
I don't know that you can pretend that.
Yeah, why not? Can you just lie there?
I mean, I think quadriplegic implies that they're not even there.
Yeah, just put a blanket over you.
Several blankets.
Several blankets. Yeah.
I made a movie once where I cut a guy's arms and legs off and his dick, and then made him eat it, and then I shit on his face, and it was all like we didn't have CGI, and it looked pretty real.
Practical
Wait a
effects.
second. Let's go back to the beginning of this. First of all,
Did he stutter, Josh?
no, but I have so many questions.
Thank you, Michael.
I have so many questions. In what order did all of that happen? I'm assuming the
Legs.
shit on the face happened at the end.
Yeah, that was the finale.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And did the dick come off before the arms and legs?
Nah, arms and
No.
legs first.
Yeah.
Arms and legs first.
So we cut his arm. I cut it. I was the woodsman. It's a guy that's in the outback. American tourists came to Australia camping, and the woodsman is this. He's like a mythical creature, but he is real.
Yeah.
And he's got a giant boner and a snake hanging out of his ass. We were high when we wrote it. And
Wait, you wrote that character?
yeah. I mean,
And you were like, I'll play him.
Listeners helped.
yeah.
There's plenty of blame to go
Oh, okay,
around.
okay.
And this
And it
was
was-
heavily crowdsourced.
And there was no bad idea.
Right, right.
Like if someone was like,
Yeah.
"Hey man, put a snake in his ass," I was like, "Snake in ass."
you know,
Done.
improv, like Del Close, Del Chase, yes
Yeah,
and.
yeah.
Everything was yes and.
Yeah.
He's
Snake
got a
in the
boner,
ass.
yes, and a snake in his ass.
Yeah. No. Perfect.
How do you think you got the boner?
But yeah, we cut his legs off and we buried him in the dirt.
Yep.
And then we put fake blood over it, and then we had a couple of like really budget limbs that we like just hung in, like just had in the bushes. Like there's his arm, and then the dick. We had a fake dick that I like pulled out of the front of his pants and fake cut off, and shoved it in his mouth. And then I got a Hershey's chocolate bottle and had it on the side of my hip. So when I squirted over him, I squirted it from the other side, and it looked like I just had the squirts, and I squirted all over his face.
How do I see this?
It's on YouTube.
It's very popular.
I
Everybody loves it. It's the Woodsman.
I'm going to watch it later.
think
You
I
won't.
I'm gonna.
You watched like 5 minutes
Yeah.
ago. You've got to be joking.
Many have tried.
I'm actually just. I just want to cut to the part of you shitting on the.
Oh dang!
Is that allowed on YouTube?
We got boobs on
Yeah,
YouTube.
I don't think you're allowed to do what you're doing right now. But there's the woodsman.
Yeah.
So he's about to fight a real.
No, that is hilarious.
He's about to fight a real live alligator.
There's
And
a
there's the
snake.
snake.
There's a
Snake.
snake.
Why is your dick just hanging out of you?
Yeah, it's huge, dude. He's the woodsman.
What, doesn't he want longer shorts? Yeah, this dude is amazing. How do you run with a dick that big and
Like
your
that.
snake in your ass?
Like that. Look at that. That's a real alligator, you guys.
Yep.
Look at a real fight with an alligator. I did my own stunts too, by the way.
This
So did
is
the alligator.
Yeah, you're like Tom Cruise.
Look at this. Look at the beast.
Yeah.
And so, were you saving her from the alligator?
Yeah, but she thought I was going to kill her. Little did she know that.
Yeah.
I was.
Of course, this alligator is not much bigger than your cat.
Right, but that was kind of, we're being funny.
Yeah,
Okay,
dude,
yeah.
I think
well,
the-
I could
I
tell
think-
by the dick out of your pants and the
Thank
snake
you.
in your
Yeah,
ass.
I think the total budget was south of $3,000.
Yeah.
And what did you
And
spend
it's
that
all
money
on,
on?
it's all on screen.
Tony Hawk. Hey, Tony Hawk's in it.
He is?
He's
There
right
he
there.
is.
There he is.
Oh,
Wow. This is...
And the legendary
He
Skin
has an
Diamond.
Australian accent, Josh.
How is it?
It's pretty good.
Where-
I love Tony Hawk talking to porn stars. It's my favorite.
Where did you shoot this?
I think it was Mount Baldy.
Well, he's got a porn star mustache.
And
right
then
there.
it's half coming off already. And
I was gonna say,
we were
yeah.
like, perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
Because we couldn't go wrong. That was the best part about this movie. It was like, this is terrible. I'm like, perfect.
We screened this in a theater.
Why do you kind of look like a cracked out Ultimate Warrior from
Thank
the...
you.
He looked
Yeah.
like one of the dudes at the
You know what I
University
mean?
of Georgia with the shoulder pads on
Yeah.
in the front row.
It's amazing. What are you doing here? What's
I'm
the...
pulling a bunch of drugs out of my ass here.
Oh.
I'm the
good.
quadriplegic of, well, I guess the paraplegic of the.
Did you pull the pipe out of your ass, too?
I think I did.
You
Yeah.
better believe it.
Wow.
Well done.
How come everyone carries things in their asshole and nobody has pockets?
Well, because it's the woodsman.
Because we flew there, I
Hello.
Yeah, you didn't want to keep that in your pocket. Can I ask why you were carrying those in your pocket in your asshole instead of your pocket? Is that part of the...
guess. Yeah, I think just because it was the more extreme,
wasn't using it.
disgusting.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because there's two parts. So maybe it's the
probably is.
the killing of the guy with the arms and legs. That's in the second part.
How
that
long...
Not a lot of people got to.
How long are the two parts combined?
Yeah, what's the whole movie?
25 minutes ish.
This is amazing.
So I'm going to pat ourselves on the back for this. We had a band and we made an album and we self-released the album and we made this movie back when like bonus discs, bonus DVDs, bonus tracks were a thing. This was literally just a DVD bonus on our band's album to stimulate sales of the album.
It's kind of amazing.
Here it is.
On that level,
Oh, this is where it happens?
Yeah.
Now, who is the guy you're killing?
his name's Scott Green.
Yeah, he's a fan
He's
of
a
the show.
listener, Yeah.
There's me cutting his arm off.
That did look pretty real.
Right?
Yeah.
Look at this, his fake arm.
Is this the porn you were looking for?
This is... I mean, I have to tell you,
What do you think, Josh? Look at that. Look at that.
that's pretty good, dude.
Right? Right?
This is the part that I... Oh, boy. Did you just rip it off?
Yeah.
Very strong.
Yeah. I mean,
Superhuman strength.
Oh, that's the... By the way...
Okay, wait for it.
Yeah. This is the insult to injury.
You can't see the Hershey's bottle. I'm loading it up.
Oh no.
And then boom.
Jason.
Shut up, Brianna.
This is maybe... Oh, my God.
That is hilarious.
We are.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What was my quote? Because I had.
That's a shitty way to die.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm so glad I saw that today.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Nobody else is.
This is the type of stuff he likes.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Oh, well, then you'd enjoy The Woodsman.
I enjoy it weird. I enjoy it silly, man. I think people need to relax. a
Dude, the
little bit.
proudest part to me was I had an idea. I believe it was my idea. I don't know. I hit my head so much, but having you know how the cigarette burns in a movie where it's just a quick flick of a thing, and I was like, if we could have a vagina fart in the movie where the screen just becomes a just for 1/100th of a second.
Yeah.
And we had it in the theater. So the theater was packed. We sold out a theater. Everyone's watching the movie.
Up on Sunset.
I know that in a few seconds, there's going to be a giant vag doing a fart for 100th of a second. And I'm in the back just waiting for it to happen to see everybody start, like, it goes, and people in the crowd go, to their friends, like, did we? And I'm like, yeah, you did.
That is awesome.
Well, no, but
I sat there in the back, Josh, like,
Is that what you were?
maybe the greatest thing you've ever done, Jason. Maybe the greatest thing you'll ever do.
like Robert De Niro in the theater in Cape Fear. But Jason, what you're forgetting is, so this is an Ellis Mania weekend, which is typically in Las Vegas, but we did it this one time here in LA. We played at the Palladium. The band played at the Palladium. We had fights at the Palladium. We did.
Who's in the band?
Was
two
the
of
guys
us
on,
and two other people who were on the show in those days.
And what do you play?
I'm the singer.
I
He's
play
the
guitar.
guitarist.
No shit.
Yeah, and we just, I mean, it really, it's like on Saved by the Bell when they're like, let's start a band, and it's like, oh, all of a sudden Jesse knows how to play bass. Where the fuck did that come from? We literally had like a drummer, a guitar player, like we had all the stuff ready made to start a band. So we made the band, but we did a movie premiere on Sunset. We played at the Palladium. We fought at the Palladium, and then the Sunday before everybody got in their plane and went home, we showed the director's cut.
Which
of
was
the movie, which was like
insane.
50%
No,
just
but
a vagina shot.
Like, it's
Slowed
the
down,
movie,
ate to a screen.
The movie is the movie until it gets to the snippet of the vagina fart, but then the vagina fart goes into. At one point, it goes wah, 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 and it's just a pussy, and it goes for a really long time.
And as proud as you were, as the guy who had negotiated the buyout with the theater, and knowing that at that point nobody was going to pull the plug, it was just too late.
People that were diehard fans got up and left.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and we laughed and laughed as they all walked out.
It's so funny, but can I? This in my mind, and you know this. This to me, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be having fun with what we do.
We did have fun.
That's the end of the day, man.
We did have a great time.
That's the end of the day. You're supposed to be having fun. If it's not fun, then you're not doing it right.
Even making it.
Yeah,
like
God,
there were times
so
where we were just laughing hysterically. The cameraman was dropping the camera because he was laughing. There was a person that was pretending to be the director that didn't have any ability to be the director, and we were messing with him. And it wasn't like we weren't like on the side filming that for a documentary. We were just we just fucked with each other so much that there was really to me the funniest parts were when a guy was sincerely saying, "Look, Jason, like, you've got to cut this guy's arm off," and somebody else is just like making a joke, and he's getting really pissed, and I'm like, I have a giant dildo and a snake hanging out of my ass, and you're legitimately angry. Do you not see?
You're on the wrong set. Yeah.
This is stupid on another level.
Here's the thing, like, then it turns into not work. The last time I think I was on your show, I was promoting that thing that he and I did together called Family Tussle.
Yeah.
Yo, if you ask me to this day, what's the most fun you've ever had? It was that week on set with him. Everybody we hired was friends and people we liked. We had more laughs camera off than camera on.
Yeah.
People got there early. They left late, not because I asked them to, because everybody was just having a good time.
Yep.
And when we finished that week, he asked me, he was like, "What do you think? What are you expecting?" I was like, "I don't care." This week was a success already across the board because we came out, we had fun, we made fun shit, but like, I'll never forget this week. That's
the winning way to live.
That's
right
the
there.
deal, man.
My
All the
favorite part- my
all the
favorite
better
part-
if you can get paid for doing it.
True.
I love that because also like we did just like we fucked with each other, like whipped cream pies to the face. I walked around with an air horn all week, so every
the
time he
fuck
came
out
out
of
a door, I'd be like, "What's up?" It's awesome. I loved it. Like we just fucked with each other.
And
It was
when I
great.
get scared, I jazz hand, so it's
Yeah,
real. It's real.
you're the-
He also
that's
makes a noise.
That's your scar. Like, if you do that, I want to scare you.
That's
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah. By the way, he doesn't only jazz hand; he makes this noise too. Ha!
I
Oh,
high
wow.
pitch. I'm a high pitch shrieker.
Yeah, any chance I got, which you would have also, air horn, 100%. Yep.
Yeah, I'm so you're so happy I didn't know that before you got here today. 'cause
Oh, dude.
that sounds cool.
I am a shrieker. I'm a shrieker. I'm also one of those dudes that, like, you scare me right here, I might end up in another room. Like, how did I get in here?
He blacks out when he gets scared.
And I
Yeah.
go. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's embarrassing.
It's a
Nice.
great time. It's a great time. I recommend it. I recommend it.
yeah.
Please
I see
don't.
that. Yeah. Hey man, do you want to do a movie with me?
The Woodsman 2? If I can be your partner in crime.
I was gonna say with both of you as the Woodsman and
Oh,
the Woodsman
2 is
Junior.
in there's just two woodsmen.
Yeah,
yeah,
Like the whole point of the Woodsman 2 is there's another one.
Uh-oh.
the two Woodsmen. Yeah.
oh, the two Woodsmen? But I have a tiny pecker, but a huge butthole.
That's right. Is there anything in it?
Oh, it keeps falling out.
Right. Wait, your butthole keeps falling out?
No, the thing's in my butthole.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. My butt. You know what, dude? The butthole falling out. Those videos always shock me.
Yeah, remember we had a friend and her butthole fell out?
I do.
And she was
How
like,
did it fall out?
something pulled out of it too quick.
Damn.
I think I did that pretty well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well done.
Good.
Well done.
You said that pretty well.
Yep.
And
Well
she
done.
said she just pushed it back in.
Keep on trucking.
She's on it.
Takes a dick in and keeps on ticking.
She drives on it.
Did she go like by herself? She pushed it back in.
Yeah, that's what she said. She drives on a different street than us.
Yeah, that is a I remember the first time I saw one of those videos, and I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Oh, that's the butthole." I'm like, That doesn't look like the butthole."
Yeah, no, that's what it looks like if you pull it out.
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be pulled out.
Nah.
No.
I agree.
It's supposed to stay in there.
It's like
But,
those
you know-
prank things they used to have where you'd open the canisters of chips and the thing comes flying up.
Yeah. Some people like to take it to the limits, you know?
You know what? I'm happy to say that was never my thing.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear you say that.
That's the
I think
one
it means
thing.
a lot for a boy to know his dad's on into pink socks.
I will say it's
that
the
what
one
we're calling
thing.
them?
Pink socks,
yeah. It's the one thing he and I don't ever talk about. We talk about when I say we talk about everything, and he's told me some things where I'm sure it's not a normal father son conversation,
Yeah.
but sex we don't.
It's the one
discuss
thing
it.
that's off the table for obvious reasons, I think.
Yeah, he's probably doesn't want to know how I bang my wife. Probably.
Which is my mom.
That's right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Okay, I don't want this. I want out, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not related to either one of you.
Are you tapping out?
I'm fully out.
We will.
Save it. Save it for hey man.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good topic to bring up.
Get
Nice
me
one.
out of here, man.
Hey man, is that show where the father and the son talk about the people they fuck? Yeah, it's super weird.
Crazy podcast.
I stopped listening.
We do talk about everything on that podcast, though. And it honestly has been kind of cathartic for both of us at times. I have had a chance to apologize for things that I've always wanted to apologize for.
Yeah.
And he's let me off the hook with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He said things like, "You don't have to apologize, but I appreciate that."
Yeah.
But it's been really cathartic. You know, the last one we did was on the was close to the anniversary of his best friend passing away, and he hadn't really grieved, and it happened on the show.
Well, it was on his birthday.
Yeah.
It was on his birthday is when it was. So yeah. And then so we had a chance to just kind of like let everything out. Which, you know what's crazy is the house that I met him in was somewhere on Sepulveda, but the house that we did have the most fun in and do all of the fucking drugs was literally on the other side of this street.
Yeah.
He literally lived on the other side of the block.
It's really healthy to grieve.
Yeah. I hadn't let anything out yet, and I was like, every time like, you know, the passing anniversary pops up or his birthday, I always say just a quick little something, and I hadn't let anything out
Yep.
the day before, and then it all just kind of came rushing. at
Super
once.
healthy.
Yeah, very, very, very.
You know, I've probably cried more on the podcast than he's ever seen me in my life. But I'm at a
Yeah.
point where I know that when I push those things down, it comes out in the most unhealthy way.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. I watched my father never cry about anything at one time, and he was the darkest, most stressed out person that I've ever met in my
Yeah.
life. I made a video recently that people really liked it, but it was like these people that talk about being tougher and, these personal trainer types that kind of talk about, you're being strong and just really jerking off on themselves about how, men are pussies these days. And, at one point when I was going through a really tough time, I was sharing it on social media, and some of my friends were like, hey man, maybe easy on the crying on social media. And at the time I was like, yeah, you're right. Like it's not going to help your business, And I was like, yeah, no, I appreciate that. And then when I got through it and I was on the other side of it, I came to the conclusion that a lot of these guys that talk about being tough and strong and, being able to protect your loved ones or whatever, is like, I'm not trying to brag, but I can knock you out for sure. Like if we fight, I'll switch you off for sure. Mm-hmm. And I've quit things and I've cried and I've broken down. And I think admitting that makes me stronger. And it also is healthier because don't act like, I remember Mike Tyson saying that he was scared when he fought. Mm-hmm. And that's the toughest man that has ever lived on this planet in hand-to-hand combat. Yep. And he was absolutely terrified when he fought people. So when you tell me that you're not scared, you're lying. I know you're lying because I've fought people. I've had my bones come out of my skin and I've duct taped them to keep them back on because I want one more ride in this contest. I'm not tough. I just am a competitor, and if I love something, I put everything I've got into it. But I have broken. I have given up, and I feel like when people don't admit that, it's coming out in a negative way somewhere else.
I want to tell you something as somebody who watched you on social media and was going through a transformation of my own. You helped me. You really did help me because I was like, oh, I'm not alone in this game. Here's another dude who clearly, remember I told you when we walked in here, I was like, your energy is so different from Sirius Radio days.
Right.
When it was Sirius Radio, when I walked in, I was like, oh, this is a combative dude who's putting his dick on the table, and not in the right way,
yep.
but like a real combative dude. And to watch that guy go through, and I knew the wall or the mask that I had put on, and to watch your mask slowly come off, man, and to know that I wasn't alone, we're around the same age, it helped me immensely.
Yeah.
Just so you know that, dude.
It means a lot because I forget those times, and when you bring things up like that, I remember day-to-day stuff that would freak me out and get me so angry or so sad. And now, like, bad things still happen. That's life. But the way I look at it is that's life, and things are still good. Like I'm still alive. My kids love me. They know I love them. Like there's so much to be grateful for. And when people react or say negative things now, I know that person where I'm like, aw, instead of like, what, motherfucker? I go, aw, like, I wish that I could help you too, man, because if you're angry at me because my shoes are pink, that you got a long way to go. You know what I mean? Like that's tough for you. You've got there's a lot that you've got inside that you haven't let go. And that's why I brought that thing up on Instagram the other day, because I was so sick of these guys talking about how much it means to be tough. And I'm like, look, yeah, cool. Yeah, being tough, having like, getting down, like get knocked down, get back up, like Rocky Balboa. Hell yeah, man. I totally agree. Stay, you know what I mean? You got to be strong. You got to keep going. Keep pushing forward. Like Sylvester Stallone. Keep punching,
Doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down.
I'm for it. But also like being in touch with your emotions and like sitting with it and understanding why they're happening and coming to terms with them. And then when you can understand it, you can move on. Because if you just keep staying tough, you never like understand why it's happening. You just react.
You also stay stuck.
You're just a reaction.
Yeah.
You're just a walking reaction. Like when people cut me off, you can still get me. But the thing that used to be where I could feel it, like I hear that voice where it's like, oh, you're dead. And I go, you're dead. Like murder.
Yeah.
You're gonna murder somebody. Really, Jason? Like what? Okay, go to jail for murder, and then see how happy you are when you're in the like. Think a little bit, and then it's like, and then it's funny, because I go, wow, murder.
Man, over the last 2 months, have had worked very hard every day because he's seen me, unfortunately, and this bums me out. But because I had pushed things down for so long, I was never quick to anger with him or my kids or my family. But you cut me off, I might get out of my car.
Yeah.
Right? Not might, have.
Well, you followed someone
and
for sure.
And
Me
I
too.
feel terrible that he saw that. All my kids saw that. But I couldn't. Once there was a crack, the steam just went.
Yeah.
Right? And I have learned that, you know what anger solves? 0 things.
Yep.
You never, whatever made you mad, whatever that problem was, is never going to get better while you're mad.
Well, to me, anger is sorrow. Like, I'm so angry because I'm so sad, dude.
Yeah.
Like, my temper is because I'm so sad. So when people are angry, I am like, aw, because I know that you're really sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where that anger comes from. And you talking, like, getting through it, understanding it, and telling him you apologize, and him accepting it, being, you know, I understand, but still I appreciate it. Like, I've been doing that with my kids recently, and they're doing the same thing, which means, yeah, we've made mistakes, but him being able to understand that you are processing and learning from it, and that you are sincerely, deeply regretful for it, him accepting that means you have you've raised a good kid. Because my kids, when they were like, oh, I get it, Dad. Like, I understand where you came from, and I think it's cool that you're putting in the work. I didn't teach him that.
But you did.
Right. But it means that meant more to me than understanding my own problems.
For sure.
Where they are like, yeah, no, I appreciate it. I understand it, and I love you. It's like, no matter what. And I'm like, dude,
This is
you don't understand the relief of that, because
Yeah.
I don't want you to carry that stuff that I did. You know, like,
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because you like when I was growing up, you think your mom and dad know everything, are the superheroes, and then you get older and you're like, oh, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing either. they were just because there were times when, like, I would walk out of his room, my wife and I would walk out of his room, and we had to, you know, punish him or whatever. We'd walk out of the room, and she'd be like, how do you think we did? I'm like, I don't know. We'll see in a couple
I
of
know,
years, I
right?
guess.
I know.
I don't know if that one worked or not, you know, because you don't know. You have no idea, and every kid is different. You can't parent each one of your kids the same way.
Yeah.
They're different humans. They
Yep,
respond
completely.
to different things.
Yep.
And so you're going by the seat of your fucking pants also. It's nailed it.
I love you guys. I'm
love
so
you too,
happy
man.
for you guys.
Thank you.
Because not everybody gets to have that kind of relationship, and you get to work with each other in a thing that you love, and you know how cool it is to love comedy.
Yeah.
And now he's doing it, and you get to go on the road together. Like, not many dads are as lucky as you, and not many sons are as lucky as you, dude.
100%.
Do
100%.
you-
It's something I definitely don't take for granted. Like, it's a road. Oh, excuse me. It's a road I dodged for a really long time because I wanted to come out of his shadow. I've been in his
Yeah.
shadow as Josh Wolf's son my entire life.
Yeah.
And so I did TV production for a really long time. And I thought it was my way out of his shadow. Turns out, actually kind of following in the footsteps was my way out of the shadow.
But that's commendable that you went your own way.
Yeah.
And you have that in your pocket if necessary. And
Absolutely.
that's got to be a confidence builder, knowing that, like, hey, if I don't do that, I got something else. I put work in.
Yeah, absolutely. I could always go back. I don't ever want to go back because I was only a PA for 7 years. I could obviously always go do something else. But doing comedy right now, don't remember the last time that I felt excited about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like when I was a PA and kind of starting out, and there were certain shows that I did that were cool. Like, but after 4, 5, 6 years, I was like, ugh, when does this end? And now I'm not even looking at an exit for what we're doing right now.
And we talk.
Why would you?
We
Right.
talk comedy. So I'm on the road. Here's the beautiful thing. The 2 things that I like the most, my family and comedy, every weekend. We talk comedy. We go over punchlines. It's like the best every weekend. I'm like, this weekend was the best. I tell them that all. I'm like, this is the best week we've ever had. And then the next weekend, I'm like, you know what? I think this one was the best weekend we've ever had.
At this rate, someday you're going to get your own hotel room.
Yeah, don't give up, dude.
I named the tour One Room, Two Beds. He doesn't like it, but I think.
Yeah, wow, wonder why. Awesome. Where do people go for your comedy dates and all that stuff?
ComedianJoshWolf.com for tour dates. And I'll tell you right now, the show is, he does 10 to 15. I do 60 to 70. We do a Q&A. And then there's some music. I do some music at the end. It is a fucking great show. I've never had more fun doing stand-up. And ComedianJoshWolf.com for tour dates. And then at Josh Wolf Comedy on all socials.
Thanks for doing the show, you guys.
Thanks for having us, man.
Oh, and Hey Man podcast.
Yeah,
yeah.
Hey Man podcast. It's Hey Man, but man with 3 A's. Anywhere you can get a podcast. We're anywhere and everywhere. And yeah, that's it.
See you next week, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Don't die.
Don't die.
Is that how you end it?
Yeah.
I love that.